Today we want to explore the impact of the new law, especially on individually and family-owned businesses. I'm Chris Smith. I'm the Executive Director of the Parity for Main Street Employers Coalition, which is made up of over 100 organizations representing individually and family-owned businesses all across America. The first filing season under TCJA just concluded, and for all the tax professionals out there, October 15th is the new April 15th because of getting the learning curve of learning the new law. While the ink on the regs is barely dry, though, already we see movement, proposals, major proposals to go in different directions. Proposals for a 70% tax rate, mark-to-market on capital gains, new wealth taxes. So what happens next is already a question.
Well, it'll be 2 years in December since we passed this legislation. And to tell you, I can't just imagine when we go out there and spend time across Montana talking about lowest unemployment rates for women, for African Americans, for Hispanics, for youth, starting to see the increase in middle-class wages. It is wonderful to see what's happened here because of what we did. We're starting to see these outcomes. So I want to thank you for your support. And again, Chris and Brian, and what you all do here. You were most helpful to me personally as we were working through the quantitative argument to ensure that we got rates cut on the pass-through side. We recognize we need to get some of these tax policies, some of these extenders here. You got to put some certainty to them, and we need to get these technical fixes.
The study that the SCorp Association is releasing today, we find more than 51% of business taxes are paid by pass-throughs. We have kind of this basic result where we have a pretty much parity between large S-corps and the C-corps before TCJA. That is kind of maintained after TCJA in the first few years after enactment. The large S-corp rate is a little bit higher. The pass-through rate for all pass-throughs is a little bit lower. And then when you have repeal of the Section 199 Cap A, then the differences are dramatic.
We did 2 focus groups. We followed that up with a national survey of 1,000 registered voters. What you see is about 60% had a favorable view of the private sector, 20% unfavorable, 3-to-1 ratio, which is a good ratio. What is the dynamic in terms of how people view passwords? One, they sort of view them as being more responsive to the consumer, and they see the opportunity in sort of using the structure to help grow the private sector. And that allows them to be that allows the private sector to be more responsive to public demands in terms of products, needs, et cetera.
One thing that we learned from David's analysis with the focus group is a little bit of education goes a long way if you're trying to understand the pass-through sector. The reason a little education goes a long way is that the S-corporation way is the right way. Pass-through taxation is the proper way to do things. Double taxation is a very bad thing. We nerdy economists will argue that all day long, and it's nice to know that the regular folks think the same thing too.
What I always find fascinating about tax policy is we get tied up in the numbers and everything, and we miss the point where Americans have a very strong sense of what's fair and what's not fair. And what they think is fair is you tax income, you tax it once, you tax at a reasonable rate, and then you let it go. And that's the way S-corps are taxed. That's why Marty and I and a bunch of other people agree that S-corps are the way that businesses should be taxed. And we're going to continue with that mantra until the policymakers get it.